Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital Wednesday, September 25 recap. Sam slams Carly over Jason Danger, and phony alibi Sidwell's fatal game. General Hospital, GH, spoilers recap for Wednesday, September 25, reveals that Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, found Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, at GH and pushed her to tell the truth about Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bernard, instead of being his phony alibi. Sam basically blamed Carly for sending Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, into another dangerous situation, so she pushed Carly to come clean about Sonny and help save Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn. At Christina Corinthos Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, place she told Sonny about spilling too much to the cops. Christina also confessed that she drove to the Quartermain estate with the intention of killing John Jagger Cates, Adam J. Harrington. Sonny didn't blame Christina since she was suffering a mental health crisis at the time, but he was glad she didn't have to carry the burden of taking a life. Christina kept fishing to find out if Sonny killed John instead, but he kept things cryptic. As for Alexis' fate, Sonny promised that she'd get out of this and did his best to reassure Christina. Back at the hospital, Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, visited Isaiah Gannon, Sawandi Wilson, and chatted with him until she got a call about her grandbaby's headstone. Isaiah got Jordan to open up and see that she was entitled to grieve this loss. At Jen Sidwell's, Carlo Rhoda, Camp, Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, tried to sell a story about wanting in on his operation and offered references that checked out. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, posed as Anna's security with benefits, but Sidwell suggested it was all too convenient. Meanwhile, Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, got updates from a guard about the fancy guests that had joined Sidwell. Once he was alone, Lucky decided there'd be a car he could use to escape and pried the lock of his cell open. Holly Sutton, Emma Sams, appeared and was ready to help Lucky flee, but she mentioned that they couldn't leave Sidwell's guests behind. Suddenly, Sidwell appeared with backup and had Holly put in handcuffs along with Lucky. Once Lucky and Holly were led back into the room with Anna and Jason, Sidwell demanded answers about Holly's link to Anna. Holly insisted Anna was her enemy since she stole her ex, but she acted like she thought Sidwell already knew and wanted to make her jealous. Sidwell also questioned Holly's connection to Lucky, who piped up to cover for her. Lucky argued that Anna and Jason were trying to take Sidwell for everything he had, so Sidwell finally proposed a card game with 3 players. Jason would live another day along with Anna if he won, and Lucky would be playing for his own life along with Holly's. However, Sidwell made it clear that if he emerged victorious, he'd have them all killed. At Pentonville, Alexis shut down Martin Gray's Michael E. Knight idea to point the finger at Sonny, since Christina wouldn't keep her mouth shut in court. Alexis wanted Martin to find another enemy of John's and pin this on him instead. Later, Jordan visited Alexis and sought clarity on the custody petition situation. Alexis made it clear that she was hoping Christina would change her mind after the birth. Since Alexis and Jordan had been looking forward to being grandmothers to Irene Ashford, they shared a tender moment of mourning. Once Martin met with Molly Lansing Davis, Christina Vaganos, she knew Sonny hired him to defend Alexis. Molly also knew pointing the finger at Sonny would be Martin's best strategy, so she worried he'd have a conflict of interest. Martin insisted he'd do whatever it took to give Alexis the best defense possible. Since Jason and Christina wouldn't flip on Sonny, Molly suggested targeting Carly as a weak link. Back with Carly, she gave Isaiah news on Jason and Anna's attempt to rescue Lucky. Although Carly was excited and hopeful, Isaiah worried that Anna and Jason couldn't survive without a proper team to help them. General Hospital spoilers say Jason and Anna will definitely have some tough jams to get out of, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the danger that's about to erupt. The air inside General Hospital was thick with tension, not just from the looming storm that threatened to break the silence outside, but from the whirlwind of secrets and confrontations brewing within its walls. Wednesday's episode took us deeper into the complex web of relationships, alliances, and betrayals that have been bubbling beneath the surface. As truths were unraveled, others were carefully disguised, leaving Port Charles teetering on the edge of chaos. Sam unleashes fury on Carly. Sam McCall stormed into the Corinthos house, her face set in a hard line, every step heavy with determination. Carly Corinthos sat at the kitchen counter, stirring her coffee as if the world weren't falling apart around her. She glanced up when Sam entered, but the tension was already palpable. Sam's eyes burned with a mixture of betrayal and rage. "Don't pretend like you don't know why I'm here, Carly," Sam snapped, her voice low but charged with fury. "You've put Jason in more danger than ever." Carly's eyes flashed in surprise, but she quickly regained her composure. "Sam, calm down. Jason knows what he's doing. He can handle." "No." Sam cut her off, stepping forward, her voice rising. "He can't handle this if you keep making reckless decisions behind his back. You're hiding things, Carly, and it's putting him at risk. He's not invincible." Carly frowned, her defenses rising. "What are you talking about? I'm protecting my family. Jason's my best friend. I'd never put him in harm's way." "Then why did you give him a phony alibi?" Sam asked, her eyes narrowing. "I know about Sidwell's murder, Carly. Jason didn't do it, but you're making him look guilty by covering for him. That makes him a bigger target." Carly's eyes flickered with guilt for a brief second, but she folded her arms across her chest, refusing to back down. "I had to. The police were closing in on him. I wasn't going to let him get locked up for something he didn't do." "But you didn't think about the consequences, did you?" Sam spat. "Jason could have cleared his name without your help, but now you've tied him to Sidwell's murder, and every enemy he's made in the last decade is going to come after him." There was a long, tense silence as Carly searched for a response. Finally, she exhaled sharply, frustration spilling over. "You think I wanted this? I did what I had to do. Jason is more than capable of handling whatever comes his way. But you're not helping him by keeping secrets." Sam's voice cracked with emotion, her hands trembling. "You're only making things worse. And for what, Carly? To keep your hands clean while he risks everything." Carly's jaw tightened, but Sam had already turned on her heel and stormed out, the door slamming behind her. The sound echoed through the empty house, leaving Carly standing alone, her chest rising and falling as she fought to control the wave of guilt that threatened to consume her. Sidwell's fatal game. Meanwhile, across town, Detective Harrison Chase was knee-deep in the investigation of Sidwell's murder. Sidwell, a once powerful financier with deep ties to some of Port Charles' most dangerous players, had been found dead in a warehouse on the docks, his body riddled with bullet holes in what looked like a mob hit. The crime scene was brutal, but something about it didn't sit right with Chase. As Chase and his partner, Dan Falconeri, combed through the evidence, they came across something unexpected. A cryptic note found on Sidwell's body. It was scrawled in Sidwell's own handwriting, but the message was incomplete, as if he'd been interrupted mid-sentence. "The game is not what it seems. Watch for the—" Chase frowned as he read the note. What game was Sidwell playing? Danta leaned over his shoulder, his brow furrowed. Whatever it was, it didn't end well for him. But look at this, the handwriting changes near the end, like he was writing in a hurry. "Or trying to warn someone," Chase added darkly. Maybe he knew he was being hunted. As they continued to work, Chase's mind wandered to Jason Morgan. The man was a prime suspect in Sidwell's murder, especially after Carly's alibi had suspiciously placed Jason nowhere near the crime scene. But Chase wasn't convinced. He knew Jason had his hands in many dangerous pots, but something about Sidwell's death felt different. "I don't think Jason did this," Chase said quietly, more to himself than to Dante. Dante raised an eyebrow. "You're starting to sound like Sam." Chase nodded, staring at the crime scene photos. "Yeah, maybe I am. But this feels off." Sidwell was involved in something bigger, something deeper than we realized. The deeper mystery. Later that day, Sam found herself back at Jason's penthouse, her earlier confrontation with Carly still fresh in her mind. She hated feeling like Jason was caught between her and Carly's decisions, but she knew one thing for certain. She couldn't let this continue. Jason stood by the window, his back to her, staring out at the storm clouds gathering in the distance. He knew she was there, could feel her presence, even without turning around. "I know you're mad," Jason said, his voice low and calm. But Carly was only trying to help. Sam shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "Jason, she's going to get you killed." Jason finally turned to face her, his expression unreadable. "I can take care of myself, Sam. You know that." "That's not the point," Sam replied, stepping closer, her voice trembling with emotion. "The point is that you shouldn't have to. Not like this. Not with Carly throwing herself into your messes. She's covering for you in all the wrong ways, and it's only going to make things worse." Jason sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I know, but right now I don't have time to fix it. Sidwell's murder wasn't random, and I need to find out who's really behind it." "Then let me help you," Sam pleaded. "We're stronger together, Jason. You don't have to do this alone." Jason nodded slowly, a small smile breaking through his serious expression. "I know, Sam. We'll figure this out. Together." The calm before the storm. As the storm clouds finally burst over Port Charles, pouring rain onto the streets below, Sam and Jason stood united, ready to face the danger that lay ahead. Carly, alone in her mansion, wrestled with her guilt over the mess she had made. And across town, Chase and Dante found themselves inching closer to a deadly truth. Sidwell's game was still in play, and they had only begun to scratch the surface. The storm had only just begun.